Audubon 2456.
Hey everybody, it's episode 4 of State of the Save. My name is Eric. Thank you guys for coming back. Very excited. This is our conversation on observation. Let's go ahead and introduce everybody right off the bat. My name is Eric. Nick, how are you doing?
Good, glad to be here, thanks.
I'm glad you're here too. Michael.
That's it? That's the bit?
No, the bit was going to be that I talk about how Eric never asked how I'm doing.
Oh.
But we didn't do the bit.
I'm glad we didn't do that bit.
I was expecting this
I was
was
going
the
to ask
bit.
to host the podcast so that I could show you how you were doing it wrong.
Oh, wow. You want to go ahead? I've only been here for 4 episodes, and you're already trying to overturn me.
No, I just wanted somebody to care about how I was doing.
I always care, Nick.
Nick, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. See,
Awesome.
That's
You
all.
know, I don't need
See how
this.
that's better than hi.
Wow. I'm under assault right from the get-go. This is not what I signed up for. Michael,
Yes.
how are you doing, Michael?
I'm doing pretty well. Nothing to complain about.
Okay, I'm glad that you're doing well. This is a really aggravated way of starting the podcast. We might cut all this.
Probably.
Nah. Okay. Episode 4. Observation. I've got some feelings on this game, but before we go into it, let's do the round the horn. Nick, what have you been playing? What have you been up to?
So it's kind of short game, so I had a little bit of extra time to play some more stuff this week. But one of the games that I got into was West of Dead from your recommendation last week.
I also tried to play some West of Dead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's more of an appropriate way to describe it.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that game? Like, do you like West of Dead?
So it's going for a lot of different things, which I think is not what you want from like a simple kind of like roguelike type of game. Like if it's just run based, a lot of the times it's going to be kind of like vague on the story. And you know, these games kind of live or die by the moment to moment combat.
Which is not my favorite part of this game.
So it kind of did just sink in that I've been playing this on PC. So I've not been using a controller, which I'm sure a twin stick shooter, you should probably use a controller for. But that being said, you know, I really wanted to like this game. You know, Ron Perlman as some dude, cowboy, Ghost Rider, John Wick, and Purgatory. That sounds like the type of thing that I'm down with. But I don't know, man. Like, kind of bounced off of it.
I tried to continue to play it, but the moment to moment just bums me out. Like I like everything that surrounds the game.
Yeah.
And that kind of fits into our other conversation that's about to take place. I like everything that surrounds this game except the playing it part.
Right.
And I'm not gonna I consider myself competent at video games.
Yeah.
But I can't get anywhere in this game because like little things like I hit the lights and those 4 dudes surrounding you.
Yeah.
But you got to hit the lights to do anything to them. It
Right.
just seems like a unthought out plan when it came to development.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, how far into this game did you get?
Not far at all.
So I'm in chapter 1, what they
Yeah.
call. So like you get through, the first time you die is basically the epilogue. Then you're in chapter 1. What I don't really understand is like it's different seeds, but they're all part of the same area. So there's like the Cribs or like the Hunt or the Wild. But you're encountering them in different orders or like different seeds of those environments.
I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. This is a Dead Cells kind of game in my mind. But Dead Cells still had some consistency to when you got to certain places.
Right.
This does not have any of that. But at the same time, I never felt like I was actually making significant gains in my character. Like, I feel like those slight, upgrades here and there, but I never felt like... And maybe I'm just not good enough to get that far in it.
So that's the other half of it. Is like I can't tell if I'm intentionally not playing this game right or the way that it wants to be played, or if like the things that I'm doing are just wrong. Like I'm just not good at it.
That's the story of roguelikes in general. Either you get into them and you play it all the time, or you just bounce off of them. At least for me, that seems to be the case. Roguelikes are the hardest games to get into, but once you find one, it sticks.
The problem with this one is that I don't feel like I'm even getting to the point where I can tell that this is just not for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I'm just not enjoying the game as I play it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so, like, I get what you're saying, because I played some roguelikes and I'll be like, it's just not for me, I'm going to move on. Or it's not a good game. This is a game where I was like, I'm still missing something. Like, I'm trying to play it the way the game tells me I need to play it.
Okay.
But I just don't ever reach a point where I feel like I understand what the game needs from me. And I actually read the reviews on this game, which is something I never do.
Yeah.
But I did it because I was confused on my feelings on the game. And it seems like a 50-50 of people being like, this game is not fun to play.
Yeah.
And other people being like, oh, y'all suck at this game. Clearly, you just don't play it well. I'm the alpha gamer here. Like, I feel like it's one of the two. I mean, I just can't get into it. It bums me out because everything around it I like.
So, for someone who's never played this game, does the game allow you to, like, when you die, is there any progression that you keep through that playthrough, or do you start from scratch every single time?
Well, so again, I'm not 100% sure because I don't think I've made it out of the first chapter.
Yeah.
But it just seems like when you die, you don't bank any souls or anything. You don't, like, once you get through a zone, there is an opportunity to buy different weapons, different power-ups and stuff that can appear in the world. Not necessarily that you get them when you buy them. But unless you reach that zone, like, you just have, you've charted this one map.
Yeah, just from that, I can already tell this doesn't click for me already, just because whenever I play those types of games, I always want to, or any game in general, I always want to feel like I'm progressing somewhat. If I'm just beating my head against the wall over and over and over again, I'm going to get tired of it. Like, yeah, that's one of the reasons Dark Souls is very hard for me in general. I know that you love Souls, Eric, but I just...
But that game, you get better at that game. So, like, you as a player might not make progression on each run, but you learn something.
Yeah.
The game has rules. They are brutal, sadistic rules, but those are rules, and you have to learn to play along with the rules. This is a situation where I don't understand what the game is wanting from me.
Okay.
And it doesn't allow me to interact with the world in a way that I feel would be justified so I could complete the task. The mechanic of how it's even the camera location hides things from you, which is something that I feel in 2020
that shouldn't be an issue.
Should be an issue, because I feel like I can't see where I'm being hit from because he's off camera and he's also in a location that I have to go trigger a lantern to be able to fight back against.
Well, so I mean, that's one thing. Like, I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I am a sucker for these types of games. Like some of my favorite games, Dead Cells. There's a few different ones I can't really recall the name of, but like Slay the Spire is a similar type of thing, different combat, but the camera, honestly, combined with the way the game looks, it can pull it off. But to me, it's just like there are certain scenarios where, and again, this might be just me playing with a keyboard and not a controller, but there is like 50-50 chance of like you pull this off and feel amazing. Like you're jumping over cover, you're sliding, you dodge bullets, you shoot every dude in the room and don't take a hit, or you're like barely off the timing and you're stuttering and you're sitting behind counter getting attacked by some dog that takes like 20 hits. Have you encountered those? Most infuriating thing in the game, especially since your reload, it's all firearm combat, and your reload is automatic. So you get a speed boost to your reload by being in cover, but you can't trigger that whenever you're ready to reload.
It's also an enemy that doesn't allow you to be in cover against him because he just comes around.
Exactly.
I've not progressed far enough in this game to feel like I can make like a definitive statement on it.
Yeah.
But I can't say I don't care enough about this game to try. And that is a statement. Like on a game.
I mean, that's the last thing I
absolutely.
wrote down is that I probably won't come back to this.
Yeah, and that's a shame with the art style, with the quality of voice acting. Like they put some time and effort into this thing, but someone should have stopped along the way and said, I don't think this is really that fun to play.
Yeah.
Other than West of Dead.
So on the other side of that same coin, I've been playing a game, same kind of feel. It is a VR roguelike melee combat game called Until You Fall.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome. It's got this like EDM music in the background that kind of like you sync up your hits with. You're blocking and aligning your weapons with the way that they're going to strike you.
This sounds like the free flow combat from Batman, but in VR and with a rhythm game style thing. Is that accurate?
Yeah. It doesn't lean too far into the rhythm game, but it does some smart stuff with the music so that it feels like you're almost like in an action game. VR, or like an action movie, VR does one of those things where it's just like every VR game you play, it makes you feel like you are the star of like these games, which is awesome.
I have a fear of VR because I get some motion sickness.
Yeah.
And it's literally one of these things where like I know VR is got some cool stuff. It's also got, I kind of rooted against it, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
I was one of those guys because, like I said, I get motion sickness.
Right.
So it's like, man, I don't want this to be the future of video games because I'm just going to be puking in headsets for the rest of my life.
See, to me, that's like, I'm the type of dude that will take Dramamine to negate that. Like, this is just like, this is the future of gaming to me.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they continue to do cool stuff with it.
Yeah.
But just, that's a personal problem. And it when I get the motion sickness stuff going, it just really bums me out. So
It's understandable.
yeah, that's the only thing. Every time people tell me, like, the Half-Life Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that looked cool, but boy, I would probably be sick like 5 minutes into it.
Some of those games are like a lot harder on you in that kind of scope with the motion sickness and stuff, but there are, like, they are getting to the point now where they get, what kind of makes people sick. So they do what they can to like mitigate that.
Yeah. It's not, like I said, I continue to hope they make those games and they make them better, but I just know that that's not something that, as of right now, it's not something I'm built for.
Yeah, when I brought this to the table, I figured it would be like a pretty niche thing. A lot of people play on console. This is PC only. But for anybody interested, it's got a pretty good flow to the combat. It feels very fluid in a way that, not to compare these two games, but it's kind of the opposite of the other one where like you block the shots and you can see your timing in to get your own shot in. It's pretty satisfying. And then there's like a pretty, not super in-depth, I want to say it is beta or early access, but it has like a few different weapons that, change your play style, and then you can either go from weapon to weapon or you can just continue to pump all your, aether is what they call it, into one weapon to make it stronger. So
Where would somebody find this game?
this is, I believe, only on Steam.
Okay. So I always ask because I'm not
for
part
sure.
of that ward.
Right, yeah.
So I just assume like it's not something that's pushed to the forefront of conversation. Like this is where you get these games from. You know, I
for
mean,
sure.
Steam used to be an understood, like any game that dropped, you understand that's on Steam, but there's so many storefronts now and there's exclusive deals happening all the time.
Yeah.
It's very hard to keep up with.
I mean, the game we're going to talk about today was an Epic Games exclusive.
And Epic Games
Yeah,
exclusive
for
for almost a year, right?
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can't take it for granted anymore. Like
Yeah,
you
that is a
used
good
to.
point.
Yeah, so I try to just, hey, where do you find these things? Because it's not like it used to be 5-6 years ago where it's like, these are your 4 locations. One of these
Yeah.
4 locations has this game.
Yeah, I'll throw it back in their kind of to their credit though. I'm playing this on a Rift S. It's not on the Oculus Store to my knowledge, but Steam does do a pretty good job of kind of holding a standard to like if this is a VR game, it's probably going to be accessible to everybody with a VR headset.
Okay.
That's what it needs to be. That
Yeah,
was, I
absolutely.
think, that's another thing from an outsider's perspective. It was like, man,
Exclusive headset deals. Oh, you
Yeah.
didn't buy the right $500 headset to play the
Exactly.
game that you wanted.
and
Yeah.
that's something video games in general I want to get away from. You
Yeah,
know,
I
it's like
think
I'm
we
sick
did.
and tired of, like, I mean, you're always going to have business deals. This is a Sony exclusive, a Microsoft exclusive, but in the end of the day, I just want to play video games with
Yeah.
people that also want to play video games. Like that's why I like the cross-play stuff.
Yeah.
You know, all three of us has been played some Call of Duty, Warzone. Me and Michael playing on Xbox, you playing on PC.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, you know, that's not something that was going on 6-7 years ago.
Exactly.
But now it's fun to be like, hey, we got the Discord going for the conversation, and we'll play some video games. I want more of that.
Yeah,
Less
I mean,
of-
that's not even my favorite battle royale or multiplayer experience, but like just because of the fact that I can play with people regardless of what platform they're on, I will choose that over any other kind of shooter.
It becomes a comfort level also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't like playing on PC. It's not something I'm comfortable with.
Right.
But I can sit on my comfy chair at the house in front of my TV and play with you playing on PC where you're comfortable playing, where Mike was playing on his couch at the house. You know, we'll all get and just play the game where we want to play it and enjoy our time, you know, playing with their buddies.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what I think things are moving to eventually. But there's going to be these roadblocks still of, man, I gotta make my business deal, gotta make my money.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. That was a cool little selection, though.
Yeah. I'll throw another bump out there. This is one of those titles that if you are looking to, you know, increase your activity in these times where you might be staying at home, it will do a fine job of getting your heart rate up. Like I am literally sweating whenever I'm done playing.
I mean, that's
sounds-
a joke, but
yeah.
like I've been doing the in between matches push-ups.
Exactly.
Play Apex, start the next one, and 1, 2, 3. You know, just to kind of keep the blood flowing because
That's a good habit
yeah,
to
it's
have.
just trying to keep yourself in a rhythm.
For sure.
Michael, what you been playing?
I had it pretty light this time compared to last time, but outside of observation, I've been playing. I got back into Animal Crossing, and I'm happy to report that my island is now a 4-star island.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Is that out of 5 stars?
4 out of 5
Wow.
stars. You're
You went
basically
there, huh?
building an island destination, and you have Isabel there, who's kind of like Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec. Like she's very organized, and she'll be like, "Hey, here's everything you can do to make your island more tourist attractive and everything." And at 3 stars, you get KK Slider, who's like a traveling rock star who comes and plays music every Saturday and gives you requests, slips you a boot of the show afterwards, his words.
Oh man.
Yep. And I don't know what you get for 5 stars. I didn't get anything ceremonious for 4, but it's just something nice to have because once I feel like I'm done with building my island out, then I can actually start focusing on my house because I put all my money into the island that my house only has my main room and then a back room.
Can I pitch you on what I feel we're going to push you over the top?
Yes.
Okay, stay with me here. I've seen some people employ this strategy. It's called a wrestling ring. It's got a ring,
Yes.
and then we stick AEW on the side, and bam, we watch the money come in.
I
to a
don't-
5-star island.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying.
I don't have any of the wrestling ring parts.
Well, that seems like that might be what's
I,
holding you back.
I do have a luchador bobblehead that I have in storage.
Can you put the luchador bobblehead in the middle of a wrestling ring?
I might be able to
Okay, I'm
do
just
that.
saying, these are just some spitball ideas. It's not something I've been pitching. It's not something I got written down right here. But if you want to come talk to me, we'll get you
Yeah,
that
okay.
5 stars.
All right, cool.
All right.
Definitely worth it out. And besides that, they released a new character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Min Min from ARMS,
Yep.
and has a very interesting play style.
Is ARMS a beloved franchise?
No,
so.
not really.
I
It
will
has
vouch
it,
for it. It's a fun game.
it has its
Okay.
core like audience that still swears by it. I think it's more like the original Splatoon. People weren't like all over Splatoon until the second one came out on Switch, and I feel
Yeah.
like ARMS will be similar because it has more people, I believe, getting into it now that the prices are finally dropping on the launch titles for Switch. I think ARMS is the first one to be
It's definitely pretty
going
close
down.
to the beginning.
Yeah, so I feel like once ARMS gets its sequel, then more people would jump on board. But she's a very interesting character for this platform style fighter. Like, she's like the complete opposite of. They made Terry Bogard a playable character in Smash Ultimate, and he is amazing.
So he's the greatest character.
He's my personal favorite because they incorporated his super special move. So once he hits over 100% damage, you can do double A, and he'll do a Buster Wolf on somebody, and it's quite amazing.
Did you know he's a male?
I did.
Yes, you did know that?
Yes.
He's
What is
a
he the
mayor.
mayor of?
Punching people in the face, Nick. Don't ask dumb questions.
Obviously, yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm just. I'm very excited for a second.
The Fatal Fury timeline is very expansive and kind of confusing, but yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, Min Min, she's very interesting in the fact that while Terry Bogard is very good at 1v1, she's very good at group fights. Like, she has the main point of arms is that every character has like extendable arms. It's kind of like a punch out in that regard, but their arms literally like stretch like Mr. Fantastic. So while she's not really good at, she has a wind up before all her punches. So when you're fighting her up close, you're able to get some hits in because she has like a warm up period for her punches. But the kicker is, in Smash, you have a basic attack button, and then all your specials are mapped to the B button and then a direction. With her A button controls her right arm, her B button controls her left arm. And when you hit down B, you change what special arm she has. She has a boomerang, she has a electric wrecking ball, and then she has the standard arm.
Is that something that kind of approximates what the game does in
Yeah, I
arms?
think all of those arms are in the base game. I only played the demo. I haven't played the full arms experience, but I think that all of those arms are included in her game. But they also fit Smash very well because you got like a fast, you have a normal, and then you have a heavy like hit. But the big thing that she works for multiplayer Smash versus like one-on-one is that much different than any other character. Like, I can punch in one direction, and then while that punch is going, I can hit the B button and then launch my other arm in the different direction. So doing that, I have control of the entire arena.
It's like crowd control.
Yeah, she's very good at crowd control. She's very good at getting hits in from far away, but up close, she has some trouble. But yeah, that other than Smash and Animal Crossing, it's just been observation, so I've had it pretty light this time.
I realize now that Hagar was the mayor.
All right, Mike Hagar.
Yeah, which means I don't really care about Terry Bogard.
Oh, that's sad.
I just care about mayors who punch people. I had to correct this.
But Terry Bogard has broken English, and it's amazing.
I don't care. I
Get
don't care.
serious!
Is he a mayor? Is he a mayor?
He has the...
I don't care. I don't care.
Is that imperative? Does anybody ever refer to him as Mayor Mike Hagar?
Yes. Yeah, I think he's the mayor in the first.
Yeah, but did they call him Mayor? I've only ever heard him called by his last name.
I see like there's like a campaign posters and stuff in those games where he's like standing there shirtless. Like, I would vote for a guy who's like walking around shirtless, being like, "I'm gonna clean up this city myself with this pipe."
I'm sure I'll take flag for it, but Mortal Kombat, I don't care about Street Fighter.
I'm
He's
with
not-
you.
yeah.
I'm with you right there.
I don't think he's.
Is it not Street Fighter? What are we talking about?
Okay, let's just move on.
He's in Final Fight, but he's appeared in Street Fighter. I think that's Mike Hagar's deal.
That's the only reference that I know him by is Street Fighter, so there you go.
Yeah.
But see, here's my reason I'm paranoid about this. When I listened to the show after the edit, I realized that I said Iron Fury was the game that's kind of like Contra on the last episode. That's Blazing Chrome. And I realized instantly, I'm like, this is not a good sign for the host of this show.
We're going to have to issue another correction.
Yeah, we're going to issue another correction. See, I feel like this is just helping your insurrection and kicking me out of being the host.
Who's to say?
Yeah. All right. I also did not play a ton of stuff other than observation. I continue playing The Messenger, which is amazing.
It is.
It's probably one of my favorite games I've played in a long while.
Where are you at in this game now?
I just defeated the Sky Dragon. I'm in
Okay.
the Underworld. I'm fighting the Underworld boss.
Oh, you're getting there then.
Yeah, and I'm having issues with that boss.
Yeah.
I know how to beat him, but I just...
I want to say that one got me too.
Yeah, there's a couple of bosses like that held me up. The top of the tower with the three little monk guys who possess like this big guy who's throwing energy balls
yeah,
at
that
you and
one's
stuff.
pretty tough.
That one held me up for a couple of days. But this is it's a great game.
Have you done the whole thing? I know like half the people in this game came out treated it like it was a spoiler, but has it done
The hat?
the switch?
Oh no, not yet.
Okay, I won't say any more.
I just want to talk about the hat.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit in which your character gets a big fancy hat, and you go into the shopkeeper, He compliments your hat and thinks it's really cool. You come back out of the shop, go back in, and he's now wearing the hat. And he proceeds to tell you how you stole his hat.
Like shopkeeper in this game is like half of what makes this game so good.
Every time I go to that shopkeeper, it's because I've known Nick for a long time. I'm like, this is just what Nick does if he ran a shop. Like,
of all the good things I hear about this game, that bit with the hat sold me the most.
Oh, it's amazing. Please play this game. You will enjoy this.
I know I would love it.
You would love this game.
Yeah, not to dive too far into it, but he has a parable for every milestone that you complete in the game with his own like sarcastic twist on it. It's very good.
Well, like
the
some
writing
of them,
is amazing.
Some of them are genuine parables.
Like ones you'll recognize.
He'll try to like, and he's got like a more to the story. Some of them he's just like, so what do you think about that? And your character's just like, I don't understand what you're trying to do here. It makes you think, don't it?
He's just like, you're the one that came here talking to me, man.
Yeah, it's like, you're here asking me for stories. I guess I gotta keep making up stories. But Messenger is great.
Very good game.
That's an awesome game. I'm also starting Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway, which is a game I haven't played in a long time.
I know nothing about this game.
That's a very good game. I played it back when I used to be a really big fan of the Brothers in Arms series. Mm-hmm. It's a World War II, more tactical, squad-based shooter. This one takes place during Operation Market Garden. I'm a World War II history buff, and this is kind of like tries to take it fairly serious and take the events of the operation into consideration.
That series was big on the PS2, the original Xbox, right? Is this a backwards compatible original Xbox game, or was this on the 360?
This is on 360.
Oh, okay.
So the first two, I believe, came out on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. The last one that they created was Hell's Highway, in my understanding.
Gotcha.
Which came out on the 360. It takes place during Operation Market Garden. I believe there was supposed to be a sequel that took place during the Battle of the Bulge, because you're following the 101st Airborne. If you ever seen the series Brothers in Arms, Band of Brothers. Band of Brothers.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. It follows 101st Airborne in the
Gotcha.
Band of Brothers. This is a game that follows 101st Airborne.
Oh, man.
You're playing through these kind of operations that they took place in. Then they were going to do a less than serious kind of reboot of this game at one point. That was going to be more like wacky World War II. And that got canceled also. It's a good game. I like that game. It was like $2. It was on sale for $2. I mean, that's pocket change at the end of the day. But other than that, I've been playing this game called Observation.
I think I've also been playing that.
You want to share your observations?
About observation?
I had that written down.
I believe you.
You had to write that down to remember that bit?
Okay, I played half this game. I had a little bit of some muscle injuries and I had to take some painkillers. So some of these notes just look like a crazy person wrote them. And then there's just random symbols written down for me trying to track what I needed to do throughout this game. Let's get into observation.
Okay. Should we begin with our overall thoughts on this game?
Can I get a bleep?
You get a bleep.
Can I get one bleep? We try to keep a clean show here, but I got one bleep.
Do it.
Observation.
Oh, come on.
No,
that's not.
I'll say this. We talked about West of Dead, and there's a very clean line between both of these games.
Yeah.
I like everything that surrounds Observation. I don't like playing Observation.
Look, I'm not gonna set this bar for myself and put myself in a mold, but I will throw it out here that a lot of this stuff I don't understand. Like, I feel like I got 90% of this game, and then the last 10% is like, no, this is what we're trying to tell you, and I'm just like, but what is it?
I'm gonna tell you
the game
right
was
now.
fun, and I have another question about how you guys played this, because I played on PC, and you are executing commands. It's not a big deal on PC. How is this handled on console?
The controls are not that bad.
Yeah, the controls are pretty good. The only thing that becomes an issue on the console itself is manning the pod that you control, because in order to move vertically up and down, you have to press the left control stick in and then go up and down.
See, that's enough for me, dude.
It's took me probably an hour to wrap my head around the pod controls, but once I got it, I was fine throughout that whole game. Mostly that first bit when you go on your spacewalk the first time, I got lost, I got frustrated.
Same here.
Getting to that, it took me like an hour to find the thing I needed to outside. It was just getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Before we get too into like it, that was the only part I looked up a walkthrough on this game, being like, okay, where's the thing? I need to find it.
There was one other time
Same here.
that I had to look up a walkthrough because, and it was just frustration at that point because I didn't feel like I screwed up as a player. I feel like I was not given the information.
Can I guess what it is?
Yeah, go
Is
ahead.
it when you reconnect and you have to find the vents and stuff?
No.
See, that threw me off. I was like, never in this game have you crashed through a vent.
No, the only reason why I didn't, they try to teach you with coming out of the locker.
Yeah, I get that, but then it's just like, that's one thing. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I literally got lucky and went by it and saw it light up, and I was like, oh, I guess I can interact with this.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you mine is when I was trying to find Emma again in the facility. Emma, after the death of a particular character.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Okay, we'll get to it. We'll get
Yeah,
to
let's just start from the beginning. We'll get to it.
it. This game has a great style.
Yeah.
But I would tell you this game's style is not as impressive if you played Alien Isolation.
So that's
Yeah,
the other
right.
half of it. Yeah.
Yeah, right from the beginning, the whole VHS tracking stuff, because Alien Isolation does start with the VHS tracking bar and everything moving, and the heavy film grain, but it's very similar, like almost to a T. But I thought it's probably taken because it's such a strong vibe, like the film grain and everything. There's no music on the title screen, and it's just that shot of the space station, and right away you, having played Alien Isolation, you know the vibe you're gonna get, and it's like really eerie. But
So as somebody who hasn't played Isolation, that kind of did. You know, it's still a cool opening scene for me.
No, it's cool. It's a good style, but
Yeah.
that's the one thing that's kind of like especially now that last episode we talked about how the director of this game was a director on that game,
Right.
and it just kind of feels weird to see it be such a hard link.
Sure.
And I understand that these games are kind of different the way they play, but it was such a hard link between the two. It was kind of hard to tell.
just real quick, I don't think he was the director on Alien Isolation. He just worked on Alien Isolation.
Either
But
way,
still,
yeah.
either way,
Yeah.
the influencers are very prominent
Yeah.
even before hitting
No,
new
yeah,
game.
for sure.
And then on top of that, like I didn't know actually what this game was going into it, so I thought it was going to be more in that vein. So for that to be flipped on its head, and you're just like, nope, you're just an AI trying to figure out the events that have happened here. Even though there's like clear and distinct nods, to your Aliens Isolation, your 2001 Space Odyssey is very obvious homages to these, but
This game is very much like Alan Wake. This game very much wears this influence on its sleeve.
Sure.
It's the original Alien. It's 2001 Space Odyssey. It's that 2007 movie Sunshine, which is a really underrated movie. They make
Horizon.
Event Horizon too. I haven't
Oh, yeah.
seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Event Horizon. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but
no,
that
you're
was
fine.
That's the game that throughout this entire game, that's the movie that throughout this entire game really stuck with me. That like someone's seen Event Horizon, but yeah, it's a very striking style. I'm not trying to take away from it by any means.
yeah.
And I say my opening statement sort of for shock value. There's a lot of things I enjoy about this game.
yeah.
And maybe because I didn't play it on PC, but there's some issues just with the way the game plays that really, like, I shouldn't get so frustrated just trying to complete tasks that I know how to complete.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
it was situations where I knew what I needed to do. It was just frustrating to do it.
Well, so that's the thing I was getting at earlier is that, like, there are just several puzzles, I guess we'll talk about, that these are literal just keystrokes. Like, there are several different keystrokes where if, like, you're using your left hand to do this, it makes sense to where, like, I can only imagine that it's just, like, mapped to 4 different buttons that are kind of arbitrarily placed on a controller.
I think one bit that you're talking about is where you're reattaching the modules to the main hub, right?
Yep.
When you're outside on the spacewalk.
Yep.
For us, that's just hold X, then hold Y, then release X, and then release Y. I think
Okay.
that's how it
Yeah.
works.
Well, so
it's
even
only
then,
two.
is
It's
that-
only 2 buttons.
But that's on your right hand naturally, right?
Yes.
So I don't know. It's so for just complete disclosure, it's S and W on the keyboard, which are almost on top of each other on the same finger. So there is like I could fat finger and mess this up and reset this whole thing,
Yeah, see, I mean, I understand there's going to be differences.
Yeah,
and
for
that's
sure.
not even necessarily what my issues are.
Yeah.
But I took a lot of photos of screens on my phone.
Same.
Oh, yeah,
Just so
for
I wouldn't
schematics
have to
and-
flip back and forth. And I know, like, the game's trying to, but I'm also playing as a highly advanced AI. And if I'm playing as a highly advanced AI,
Should be able to layer those two
Exactly.
images on top of each other.
like, I was
Yeah.
confused on why they felt the need to be like, no, you got to go back and look at it and then come
Like
back.
you gotta remember,
And it's
instead
like,
of
that's
just
not
like
how-
executing it.
Yeah, like, I feel like if I'm playing as a highly advanced AI, that wouldn't be the problem that would trick up an AI, you know?
Sure.
And it doesn't make it more fun.
Yeah, it's a little more tedious at that point.
And there's a lot of that, like, memorization
Yeah.
to play this game, and it's just stuff that really didn't enjoy. But let's go ahead and start at the beginning of the game, because I think it has a strong intro.
Yeah.
Very much.
You start off in complete darkness. There's some really, I mean, it's a very good-looking game.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And you are on board what I believe is supposed to be like a next level version of the International Space Station.
Yeah, it's like
Low Earth
multiple.
orbit.
Yeah, low Earth orbit. Multiple countries have their own like branch, and they meet together.
Which
in
is
central
how the
hub.
International Space Station is.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it has multiple branches connected to form the International Space. I like space.
Space is cool.
Yeah, space is cool. If you want to learn more about space, I suggest the book I read not that long ago, Packing for Mars by Mary Roach. It's a really cool book.
Yeah.
Talk about space. That's just my little plug for the day.
Nerd.
Yeah, I know. But obviously an accident has happened. There's been
There's reference to the station spinning out of
Yes.
control, so
Was-
puts some urgency there right
Yeah.
out of the gate.
and we're introduced to our character or interface, Sam. Sam is the AI in charge of basically running the entire station.
Yep.
And your first character you interact with is Emma. Emma is a doctor aboard the station, and she is as of right then, the only astronaut that we know of that has survived whatever has happened.
Right.
And we'll instantly put to work trying to basically assess the damage of the station and also stop the spinning. There's a couple of fires that are on. There's a fire on the station. The game does a pretty good job of the dangers of space.
Right.
You know, decompression, exposure, all these things. Like, it does a pretty good job of that.
Yeah.
I actually really like the initial sequence of Emma with her voice recognition.
Yeah.
Did you accept the initial one or did you decline?
I declined the initial one.
Yeah, I did too.
So I accepted it.
Anything special happens, does the game just continue?
Yeah, that's the thing. So like it does just kind of like, so if you reject the voice commands in this game, it kind of just brute forces it. So if you, in the first sequence, I think I went back and watched what happens just because
Yeah.
I was like curious if like any of the choices that you make in this game matter.
I feel like they wouldn't overall. There's probably like flavor text here and there, but I feel like
Yeah.
it wouldn't make a huge difference.
At this point in the game, though, I was like, well, what happens if you change it?
Yeah.
I declined the first one, but then she repeats it.
And it's a good sample.
And it's a
a
better,
green.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that sounds dumb, but that goes back to trying to play the game and like I try to get into the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, it's not correct.
it's role playing. Like,
Sorry,
that's what you're doing.
sorry, Emma. Calm down and make sure your voice matches your sample. Nah, but yeah, I was just wondering if anybody else declined the
Yeah, I
initial
actually
one.
accepted it.
Yeah. And you know, instantly we're exposed to the camera flips, as made famous recently by I guess the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise.
Sure.
I feel bad that that was the first game I thought of too
Yeah.
whenever we're doing this.
Yeah, but I mean, games have done security cameras before, but it's hard not to think of that franchise. That's a franchise I care nothing about.
Little kids love it.
Yeah, little kids love that game, which is weird because that's a
Because
game
it's
about
scary.
murdering children.
Yeah, they.
My friend in college got really into the lore of the Five Nights at Freddy's because there's a lot of background stuff.
Apparently, the
with
guy
that.
who made those games really cares about the lore too. Like, I read an article one time where he said that he was having like waking nightmares when he was working on the game because he was so deep into it. And it's just like, man, you're taking this really seriously.
Well, because I'm getting way off topic, but I'll be quick. He made it for like the YouTube audience that loves breaking it down, so he had to think of stuff that would like, oh, you really have to dig to get to that stuff. So he was very much in it to think of those things. But yeah.
That makes sense though.
Yeah.
At the initial statement, the first thing we'll kind of put the task is damage control. There was a fire in one of the sections. We're also only locked into, I believe, the European/US portion of the station.
Almost until like the first third of the game, you're just in this station, kind of giving you a feel for how things work, how to like check your systems and everything. So
there's an impression that the other areas of the station are, could be decompressed or whatever. I'm not a spaceman.
No, but there
are
is
problems with.
It's like a lockdown.
Exactly.
It's and Emma doesn't know who's in what's. This is something the game does do very well. In the grand scheme of things, they're very close to each other.
Exactly,
These are very small, cramped locations, but because of the way space stations and items that go into space are built, they're designed to be able to be separated in cases of emergency or in cases of like how walk is done in space, where you might be dropping a satellite off into orbit or stuff like that. And I'm no scientist now, so somebody's gonna be sitting there and be like, well, actually, I'm just a fan of science. All right.
I mean, if anybody knows, that'd be cool if they want to share.
Yeah, if somebody wants to be really like who knows something about this, I'd love to listen. State of Save
at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Send us an email. But our first task is controlling a fire that's broke out in one of the sections of this European/US branch of the station, and also we're jettisoning one of the pods.
Module 12, because it says there's an unknown presence in there.
Yes.
And that's right after you discover that the cause of the fire had some type of residue on it.
Yes. Yeah.
So just from the vibe of the game, I think this is one thing it kind of plays with you a bit. Right away, you're thinking aliens.
Right.
There's aliens on the ship. I need to jettison the pod right now.
Yeah.
It's an alien, or it's something foreign has caused this explosion.
And
Emma, go ahead.
Even before this, there's also the bit where you and Emma black out, like you see the strange symbols on your screen, and right away my note was like, am I being hacked right now? So
and you also see they do a cool interface of over the screen that's bringing text online that's like what Sam is visualizing, like it's like master controls and stuff like that. That's telling him to bring her.
Yeah.
bring her.
So after you get through the entire it's a tutorial.
Yes.
You're running through doing damage control, putting out fires, literally. Is this before or after your spacewalk?
This is before.
Okay.
I believe that we have a second blackout where Emma blacks out and you as Sam go back offline.
Yeah.
And this is when you are brought back online, Emma still does not know anything about what's going on. She can't reach anybody else in the station. You're still locked in this kind of small portion of the station. The main reason I believe is that the clamps that secure this branch of the station are not secure.
Right.
So she's not able to open up the hatches to get into the main station, I believe. And this is when you have to do your first exit of the station outside. And this is also where I believe that you've now learned that you are no longer above Earth's atmosphere.
The Saturn reveal was
Yes.
nuts.
You are over Saturn. And I believe that's the first chapter. There's no hard chapter breaks in this game, but that's the first point in which I use the achievements as a way of judging progression throughout this game.
Yeah.
This is the first one in which it says, "Hey, you have completed a portion of the game," because it says, "Hey, Sam, how did we get here?" And Sam, I believe I brought you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about how this was going to be like an episodic release, and then I guess when they finished the whole thing, they cut it down into a one full thing to help with the pacing and stuff. But you can still see there's a lot of cliffhanger bits. Like there's this, and then there's especially the bit where you're going back to the first station, and the camera zooms out and everything. You would expect credits to roll there for at the end of chapter break. I could see this being a 3-chapter release.
Silence is very important. Like that's like your understanding of space is that there's no sound in space, and no movie or video game ever does that completely proper. They always want to do like the heavy breathing or whatever,
or like dramatic scores over the
yeah.
entire
But
thing.
this game does flirt a lot with silence,
Yeah.
and long camera pans onto the emptiness of space,
or
which
this
is
character is doing
Yes.
nothing.
Yes.
Gravity is the movie that I think of that does
Yes.
it the best.
Yes, Gravity.
Absolutely.
Now,
So-
Gravity's still guilty of occasionally having muffled sounds.
Yeah,
which in
of
reality
course.
Those,
Yeah.
And, you can get all naughty about it and be like, "There's no sound," but it's a film. Got to make it interesting. Sound is how we can build up drama. But that's something this game does do pretty well. Little things like making sure you decompressurize the hatch before you go out, because if not, you're going to get blown right out the diagram hatch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your entire movement in the game
Yep.
is little
Propelled,
jets.
yeah.
It feels floaty in a way that if you weren't playing a space game would be absolutely horrible. But the fact that you understand that like little tiny propulsions is how you would have to get around.
That
makes
segues
sense.
into when you do the spacewalk,
Yep.
you realize that the station is now positioned over Saturn. You have to reclamp the European/US module onto the main station.
Yeah.
So Sam has to go out to do that, and how he does that is through a sphere.
Right.
So this is the first time that you remove yourself from the internal systems of the station and are in a mobile sphere.
Yeah.
The sphere does not feel great, but because of what you just said, it justifies it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something I didn't like doing, but I understood the reasoning behind it because, hey, it's being propulsed through, zero gravity. I understand it, and I gave it a little bit of break on that.
The thing that helps it too is you're never timed to do anything. If you had a time limit while you're operating that pod, that would just be a nightmare. But
Yeah, for
even
sure.
like moments that feel like you have urgency, you could just sit there forever.
Yeah.
So. We also, we've encountered the black cube at this point.
Yeah. I mean, technically it's a hexagon.
Where you play Simon Says.
Yeah. That's one of the first things that irritated me is Simon Says. I guess we're supposed to be communicating with the cube.
Right. Yeah.
But it just, and it never really explains whether it's a communication between you and Sam or to all of you, because the Sam aesthetic of how Sam views the world disappears during those black cube segments.
Well, so I feel like in your initial playthrough, it's meant to be ambiguous, just because of some things that happen towards the end that kind of reveal, like, yeah, maybe it's both.
Yeah, but that goes back to why this game made me frustrated.
See,
because
those things that I didn't understand were the cool things to me. Like, there's, we'll get to them. I'll bring it up. But, like, there are several things in this game where it's just like, I don't really understand why it had to be this way.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things I was just like, oh, okay, well, the ambiguity here is kind of like part of the charm.
Yeah, and I didn't expect everything to be explained. We talked a lot about this with Alan Wake.
Yeah.
I think it's a personal level of how much you can tolerate. And for me, it fell short, just for how I felt. But we'll get, as the game progresses, we'll talk about that. We get and we're not really going to talk a ton on the puzzles individually. This is, at the end of the day, a puzzle game in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But the individual puzzles are not necessarily what interests me about this game.
Yeah.
Or, as a conversation.
Yeah.
They're an obstacle that you have. It's like the combat in Alan Wake. They're an obstacle that you have to get through to see the next story bit. While some of those puzzles are very interesting,
Yeah, there are a few that like I thought were noteworthy. Like there's one where they just throw you. It's very early in the game where you're trying to get the ship's power back online, where they just throw you on this screen and you have no idea what you do. So it forces you to just kind of interact with things that you don't understand the magnitude of.
Which is, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm not a computer guy.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I felt like, man, my computer illiteracy is really causing me some issues here. But
My favorite puzzles were the ones that you had to look around the room and then find clues and then operate the computer terminal based on all those clues put together. It was a great way.
Smart stuff there. There's a puzzle in which you're trying to gain access to the captain's main computer, and his note just says graduation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You go
that one.
and you find a photo of him or when he graduated from NASA. I believe it's NASA.
The Space
They say,
Academy,
like,
whatever.
EAS or something like that.
Because this is supposed to be like a few years in the future.
Right.
2026, I think, is the year they bring up, which
hate-
seems very close for where we're at.
I hate to tell everybody, but there ain't going to be no massive Saturn trip in 2026.
Man, Elon Musk, get on it.
He's preoccupied right now.
That Tesla's out there. It's going to be the first thing to get to Saturn.
If it is, well, yeah, man. But and stuff like that. I like those puzzles. We get the clamps reattached. We before we go on, any other thoughts before we kind of regain entry to a larger portion of the station?
Well, there's a bit where did you guys go to the jettison module?
Yes.
Yes, you find Josh's log where he talks about Sam jettisoning it, and he says, how could he do this? He should not be able to do that. That's not in his programming.
Well,
Are you talking about the module 12?
Yeah, module 12.
See, I never got to that.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
if you go there, because I was like, assess the damage. So I was like, there's damage here. Oh, that's the jettison module. There was a computer floating there, and it's one of Josh's logs saying that, Sam, jettison the module. What the hell?
Yeah.
also, he states that he is trying to walk his way around the station.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows that Josh is not dead.
Right, okay.
So he was in module 12 when it was jettisoned, but apparently was able to just be, I guess he's in a suit.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, module 12 looks to be an external, we're not going to get into the
Right.
science of this. But, so he's still alive.
Yeah.
That's a good point because that plays a factor in this game.
Mm-hmm.
When we gain entry back into the main hub of the station, we find one of our fellow astronauts is dead.
This Stanislav?
Yeah, he's, I believe, an astronaut from
Yeah.
Russia.
Yeah.
And this is also kind of like the main hub of the station. It's like the command hub, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the other modules break out from this central hub.
This is
Shared
where
space.
Yeah.
this is where Sam's mainframe is
Which
also
accessible.
at this point. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is also where we first get contact with May, who was in the Chinese side of the station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's been locked out, kind of like Emma was.
Right.
Before we move on, how y'all feel about Emma as a character?
There's not
You can't
a
shake
lot-
your head, Michael. This is not a video
Yeah,
podcast.
I was thinking, there's not really a lot to say about her. She seemed like all the characters in this game, they seem like a driving force for the narrative around it. Like, we don't know much about the crew outside of what we know about them in this game, besides that one puzzle where we're learning about graduation dates and everything. But besides that, we know what we know from the logs, but not much more than that when it comes to Emma or any of the crew.
Like
really.
you learn that Emma and Josh have a relationship.
Yeah.
They have a sexual relationship, I guess. This game does not try to really dig deep into. Like, there's several crew members who get no real backstories at all.
Yeah, and then a few of them are not even relevant until like maybe the last 2 or 3 parts of this game.
Yeah. I kind of feel like a game that's so focused on a relationship between you as the AI and this one character should probably try to build a little bit more compassion for the character.
I liked her overall because she is. I was trying really hard to like play as the role of Sam, so she's the only one who like treats you like with. She treats you like a human, essentially, like talking to you. Everybody else is like, "Hey, Sam, do this." End message. You're basically just Siri to them. But for her, she's like asking you how you're doing and everything.
Yeah.
And you like respond to her.
You
in
can
a
see
few
it also
instances.
as a way of her trying to keep sane.
Sure.
Because she's alone.
Yeah.
If in the reality, if we were in a situation where the only thing we could talk to was Siri on our phone, you're alone. So she's trying. I think having even a mechanical voice of Sam at least gives her some semblance of not being alone.
Right.
And at least for the back half of this game, it makes me, at least me, very protective of her.
Yeah.
Like when something bad happens to Emma, I was like, "Oh, she's the only one who understands me. I gotta get her back." So she
That's
works.
reinforced.
Yeah, she
of
works
those.
very much in that way, but as like a overall like character, I can't tell you much about her as a person, but as like someone to connect with in that moment, like it works very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's not my top complaint. It's just something I was thinking of.
Yeah.
From this point, we do kind of a branching of system alerts. The interface that you have as Sam is pretty cool. You know, it feels like you're going through a checklist at that point, trying to bring systems back online. Some of them Emma can access and bring online for you. Some of them are ones you have to physically take the sphere out to go bring online or trigger via the cameras, you know, where you're taking possession of an object to redirect the like the lockdown of a door. This is when we start getting schematics to doors. That's something we talked about, I think, at the beginning of this, that I'm not a big fan of the fact that you have to flip back and forth. I was taking a lot of photos with my phone, so I could just look at my phone and do it that way. You can say that's cheating. I say that's more realistic for an AI.
I mean, so I wouldn't even
it's
say
not
it's cheating.
cheating.
Yeah. I mean, I had a pen and paper and I was counting squares. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like they could have, you know, okay, you found this, and they can either post it right there beside, so you have to input the you know, schematic, or you just straight up overlay it would probably be more smart way
I
to do
get
it, but
you still gotta make a gameplay.
yeah, of course.
Are you guys colorblind at all? Because there's one puzzle, I'm not colorblind, but the one puzzle where you're getting the crew tracker back on the line where you have to change like red to green, I imagine would be a nightmare if you're colorblind.
I have some issues with shades. This is something I just now realized, because me and my wife runs a little business doing T-shirts and things like that, and I was looking at something and I was completely off on what color it was, and we realized I have a little bit of issues with shades of colors. So there's a section of that in which there's an orange and a red, and it was hard for me to tell the complete difference between the two.
Gotcha.
With which one was the orange, because you were supposed to change the orange, I believe. So it was kind of hard to tell which one was which. So yeah, and I didn't really see an option in the options for color blindness.
After I saw that puzzle, I checked just to be sure, and there's nothing for that. So I imagine if any of our listeners are colorblind, I imagine I could just see them going, I can't do this. I could work my way through a puzzle one time, but you have to do that thing 3 times. I imagine people would just shut off the game right there without a second thought.
I really hope that that's not randomized.
Well, so it is randomized. So if you fail it the first time, it gives you a different color to compare. It's always green. That, you know, this is green, but it's really weird that the choices were all like red, yellow, orange, and green.
Yeah,
it's just like these are like the worst ones, the most common.
It was really weird. That seems like somebody in development should have realized that. Yeah, that was just an odd one. And I did have a little bit of issues. Like, it wasn't enough to stump me.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of times where I put the wrong one on.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized it when I looked up and there was one that wasn't right beside the other one. I could kind of use that as my guide. But yeah, for shades, I had a little bit of issues with it.
If you can't beat the game because of those puzzles, I understand completely. Because that's just a frustrating thing.
Yeah, for sure. You know, as you go around the station, we'll bring you May back into the station, basically. And she's kind of working in tandem with Emma. You're starting to realize, you inform May that, hey, guess what? We're over Saturn.
Yeah, she had no idea about.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. She didn't have access to be able to tell. This is the second spacewalk with May, because May goes out of the station to try to help fix some of the clamps on her end. Sam goes out there with her. I had a hard time finding her. You were supposed to find her at one point, and she's kind of down between some of the arms.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with that, but the first spacewalk, I had a ton of issues trying to figure out like how to interact with the damage.
Yeah, because it was also like you have a button to repeat last command, and she just says it should be. Most of the time in game design, if you ask for a hint once, they just repeat it, and then when you ask a second time or a third time, they like give you more like, hey, can you go check it around UC1, I believe it was, or something like that.
Yeah.
But she would just said, assess damage. Assess the damage. And I'm like, this is no help at all.
Yeah, and it's the exact same sample, so it's like there's no variation.
Also, they use like UC1 as your guideline to where to go, but that's not very clearly stated on the outside of each module. Like it's there, but it's not like in big, massive letters where as a player, and I guess you're going for aesthetic reasons why it wouldn't be, but end of the day, aesthetic should not get in the way of gameplay.
Sure.
And there was situations where like, okay, I get it. It's on the CN12 module, but dadgummit, which module am I staring at? And then you finally find it and like, oh crap, this is RU6.
Yeah.
I'm not even on the right branch. I mean, and there's no, like after a while, I feel like there is a waypoint system in this game. After a while, would it hurt them just to throw up the waypoint and be like, hey, man, you've been on this for a while? Like, I know some guy in game design and in aesthetic is going to yell and be like, well, that blows the immersion. But also blows the immersion? Being a super smart AI who's floating around in space for 30 minutes looking for a module that he should know where it's at.
Yeah, essentially a readily available location file should just be popping off.
Like, I feel like any argument to that statement is trumped by the fact that I'm the system AI in this. I wouldn't have that issue. Like, if I was a person, maybe I'm confused in where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I'm a machine here. I would be able to be like, it's right there.
There are a couple of times where this specific argument comes up in my mind throughout this game.
I imagine that part of that is because, like, whenever you wake up, you realize near the beginning of the game, you realize that all of your memories are wiped too, so that could have something to do with that too.
That's
so
true.
there is kind of a story reason why that wouldn't happen, but still they should have just worked a way into where, hey, you're struggling a bit, let's push you on this way.
Yeah.
It's funny, I was looking at my notes here. Crew Tracker would be hell if you're colorblind. And then my next note, Crew Tracker was hell for being as you're kind of going through the systems, you're working with May, you gain access to the cameras in the Russian branch of the facility. I might be off with this a little bit. The game's kind of not linear in how you perform certain tasks.
That's true, yeah.
So if I'm jumping something, somebody let me know. But
yeah, I mean, there's a few pretty distinct cutoff points.
Yeah.
That, you kind of do everything at your leisure until those points.
Yeah,
so.
This is where I found the captain.
Jim.
Yeah, Jim. He is the captain of the mission.
Yeah.
And you find him in his quarters, and he is dead.
Yep.
Which is good because at this point in the game, like everyone's talking about trying to find him. He's the guy in charge.
Right.
And now you realize it brings back like, oh crap, we are in pretty bad shape because the guy in charge is dead now too. So who put that?
As if being right beside Saturn's not enough.
Yeah, I mean at this point you're pretty much screwed. But also May is jettisoned at one point outside of the facility.
She gets sucked into the storm on Saturn's surface while you're on that walk.
I do want to say that is one of the more distinct cutoff points between like chapters and quotes.
You lose May on the spacewalk.
Yeah, she gone.
So as you're kind of going around the ship, you find that the captain is dead. I want to say there's either another blackout, or is it when May is sucked into the storm that is on Saturn, is when a duplicate station.
That's right, because that's my note immediately after there's a storm on Saturn's surface, May sucked in, and then you look and then see another station, like a exact copy of this one.
Which they believe to be sent to rescue them.
Yeah, this is when I overthink these things, I do. But I try to think, like, as a character, like, there's no duplicate station.
Right, like you would think you'd be in the know on that.
Emma would know that that there is no secondary station.
But I mean, what other option is there for them? I mean, we from the outside looking in can know this trope and go, "Oh, alternate universe."
Right.
But for them on board, I don't see them jumping to the conclusion like, "Oh, it's an exact copy of the station, and there'll be copies of us on board." So that's the only logical explanation at that point for them.
In a point where like your only other hope is dying.
It's like it's the equivalent of like in a zombie movie where they don't know, like they've never seen a zombie movie before, and they're just like, "What are these things? How is the dead coming back to life? We're gonna call them the Walkers or something like that." Not like
what kind of franchise would call them Walkers?
I don't.
That's never gonna take off. Tell that guy he needs to rethink his entire business model.
Well, you get my point. In general.
They act as though it's like this unique scenario, even though at this point everybody knows what a zombie is.
I think I would have been nice if Emma just was like, how is there another facility? There's no facility being constructed currently. Just some line,
Sure.
And like I know there's time dilation the farther you get away from Earth and all that stuff, but I don't know. It feels kind of weird that she just readily accepts this rescue vehicle.
Yeah.
You're trying to send an emergency signal to this other station. There's a couple of puzzles where you're trying to gain access to the broadcast satellite. You're trying to position the satellite. There's a pretty cool thing where you're actually finding the coordinates for the satellite.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is going on. Also, there's a mechanic throughout the game as you're traveling around. You can bring up voice logs, things like that, just to get backstory on characters. It's fine. It's not.
None of them go really deep, but for what they are, they do help flavor the world a little bit, and
they're all just
good.
like kind of slice of life interactions.
Yeah,
it's nothing that like I felt the need to track them all down.
Right.
These aren't the manuscript pages, but these aren't the coffee mugs either. They're somewhere in between.
There is some stuff that you find on Jim's, the captain's computer. You are at this point, I believe you now know that he had a separate mission.
Precursor 1.
Precursor 1.
You find that as soon as you get to the other station.
Now, at this point, you're not aware of what that is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you go, I believe this is where you go to the Sam's mainframe on the second to, like, get a feel for what's going on. Is that right?
Yes.
Or are you there yet?
I don't know if it's quite yet.
Oh, yeah, you're not in the
Yeah, I wanna say
mainframe, but you
this
do plug into one of the computers on the central
This is
area.
Jim Elias's terminal on the other ship.
Because this
Right,
is
gotcha.
because that's the graduation.
Right.
That's
puzzle.
what this is. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of plugging into computers.
Yeah.
But we haven't gone to the other ship yet. We've sent a signal. Emma sends like basically rescues, and she gets a response from Josh saying that he's on that station.
Yep.
We've been hinted at that they have a relationship, so and she has a vested interest of all the people she's trying to find is Josh. There was a cool moment where she references like a film having like decompression as a way of directing you towards a target, and she's like, that's ridiculous. You can just jump off. Like there's nothing stopping you in space.
Yeah.
So momentum doesn't, like, you don't need a massive amount of force to push you in a direction.
Oh yeah, she's talking about a really underrated movie called Sunshine, where they use an explosion behind them to like jump from one ship to another ship.
Yeah.
And that part's really cool because they're like, oh, space is cold, we're gonna freeze instantly, so they have to like wrap themselves in like hot blankets and stuff to like go to the other side, and it's a really, really tense scene. So I didn't think anybody knew about Sunshine. So like when I saw a reference in this, I'm like, yes, finally some credence for that movie.
I talk about Event Horizon a lot at the beginning, how I thought this, if you ever seen Event Horizon, it's about a ship popping back up after it's been missing for many, many years. When you go to the second station, there's the scene where you push off of your station and you're tethered to, Sam is tethered to Emma, and you're basically just trying to direct yourself and make sure you hit this station at the right angle. That's a fairly accurate description of how that would work in theory.
That was one of the most tense moments of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't have much control there. Like, it's all Emma, so it's just you're relying on somebody to do it. I know it's scripted, but like in that moment, it's really tense.
The only the thing is, both of these objects are in reality would be moving at hundreds of miles an hour as a circle.
Yeah.
So it would be harder than just what it.
Nerd.
But okay, yeah. You know what? I've been very attacked on this episode. People, please write in and say, Eric, don't deal with this junk. But you do the kind of the shot across, and when you get to this other station, it's completely powered down.
Right.
And that's where the Event Horizon stuff really struck me. Emma's moving throughout the station. You as Sam is moving in front of her, basically giving her light. It's a pretty cool sequence inside the duplicate station, because at first she's like, boy, this looks just like our station.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is our station. When you're on board this station, you're trying to find Josh because she's got a message from him.
Right.
Instead, we come across Jim. Oh no, Jim was dead. How is Jim here? This is, as an intelligent player, you realize, duplicate station, same
Right.
people. You also get messages on the terminals that are from Emma, but not your Emma.
Right.
Where she's freaking out. Like this Emma's not got any of the calm collectiveness of our Emma. She's just freaking straight up fetal position, scared to death.
It's alluded on very early on that things are not going well on this station, and that it's very likely that the station that you come from is the one that successfully got where they needed to be.
And Jim immediately points at you and goes, "He's the one who killed you. He opened the door on you. I saw you die."
Yeah.
So that was like a moment where you're like,
okay,
questioning what.
This is when the game starts to break down for me, because Jim tells you a lot of things about like Sam's the one who kills you on this station. Josh is a murderer, like covered in blood. You get a lot of but a lot of it's from Jim telling you.
Yeah.
Spoiler: Jim's a monster who's the bad guy in this.
Yeah.
But the game never really like tries to explain like, is that what this Josh is doing? Because you eventually, while performing tasks as Sam to try to gain information about what happened on this station and what's generally happening, you come across Josh.
Yeah, and then that almost immediately becomes your objective.
Yes, but when you find Josh, is that your Josh or is that this Josh's from this station?
So when the module is jettisoned, he's on the module. Eventually, they come to a point where the two observations are close enough, and he does make the jump. That is your Josh. So I think it's even referenced in that cutscene. Like he just, turns, holding the sphere, turns the camera, and there's just a trail of bodies. Like Jim has killed everyone on board.
Well, because also he's stabbed.
Yeah, he's
Josh.
been stabbed, and he's hiding from Jim.
Yeah. And this is when you realize Jim's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Also, I believe at this point is when you realize that Jim had a separate mission than everyone else.
Yeah.
Jim's mission was there was an anomaly that there's several like corresponding phenomena that all direct at this exact moment in time at this one spot in space. The mission was basically a fraud for everybody else except Jim.
That's a big trope in sci-fi too.
Yeah.
That's one of the things in Alien.
Well, so it also points out one of the phenomena is that these events happen in space, certain intervals apart. I don't know if you guys went into this log, but it's basically the perfect human genome.
Yes.
Which just so happens to be Emma's DNA. So it's not just Jim.
Well,
Jim
that
is
part,
actually allowed
right?
to. Yeah. So Jim is actually, his mission is to bring that craft with Sam and Emma to the storm on Saturn, and then he's allowed to leave. They say that he can pull out.
Yeah, because he was supposed to observe it. I know that point.
Yeah.
But he was, See, I did not know that it was Emma's gene. How did I miss that? Where was that stated?
That's in the SAM mainframe. The
must
first
have
time you entered the SAM mainframe.
Okay, I mean, that changes a little bit of my feelings. It's not changes it enough, but it changes it a little bit.
It's three different of the findable things, but it's like scripted that you find them.
Yeah. I did read through those. I must have really missed that. Like I said, there was a point in which I was playing this game after some muscle injuries and had some painkillers in me just to try to control the pain, so maybe I was just out of it for that.
Yeah, maybe.
But, I mean, so you realize that he had that separate mission. Sam is also aware of this mission. Now, we don't know if Sam's not saying anything because Sam's memories have had damage.
I think that's what the case is, but there's also the Sam on the alternate station, too.
Yeah. Which has been shut down. That Sam was shut down by Jim. Jim pulls you away from Josh when you find Josh.
As Sam. Yeah.
As Sam. He pulls the sphere away. Because also on the alternate station, you have no access to any of the cameras.
Yeah.
Because it's not your station.
Yeah.
And he basically, with Emma, goes and proceeds to make the jump back to your original station, correct?
Before that, did you guys find the alternate Emma?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Yeah, she's in the SAM mainframe. Like you see like the way I discovered it, like I saw the feet there. I was like, oh, whose body is this? And I scanned up and then I saw it was Emma, and I was like, oh crap, this is crazy.
Which also devalues Jim's statement that she was sucked
out by Sam. Yeah.
Well, so the last thing that you do before you're pulled away is he jettisons
Yeah.
freaking Josh out of the airlock.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, there probably isn't a Psycho Josh running around. I think it's probably just
No,
Jim
yeah, I
running
think it's
everybody.
Jim's.
Yeah.
He's shipping out.
Yeah,
Yeah, right when you see Josh and he explains everything, you go, okay, Jim's the bad guy. So obviously at this point,
they don't really give you much time to think that Josh is the psycho. Like, they kind of like it's
Well,
like a
I mean,
5-minute
yeah.
thing.
So I
Josh is
took
bad.
it-
Okay, let's find him and ask him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I took
Jim's
it
like, wait,
in
no.
As they just show you the bodies. I'm like, nah, dude, that's me from this ship.
Yeah. We're also at this point assuming that both of these ships have accounted the anomaly in their different timelines and have all been sucked here. That's kind of factors into the ending also.
Yeah.
I was a little bit frustrated that that's where we went. Timelines is something that I like a lot in sci-fi, but I feel like it's becoming more and more and more overplayed.
I can see that.
I mean, to me, in this game, it's just like, to what end?
Yes,
Like-
that's something I want you to keep that in mind,
Right.
Because that's my question at the end of this. This is what, understand at this point I'm still not enjoying playing this game necessarily, but I'm still interested enough to continue.
Yeah. I don't mind the gameplay at this point.
It's a chore to me.
Okay.
That's fair. I mean, I enjoy it, but I enjoy some of these like more adventure puzzle games in a way. So that just might be my personal taste.
The game still has enough mystery in it that makes me want to play it. So,
Yeah, the narrative is the main driving force, though.
as you are progressing along, you're jumping back to the station with Jim. When you are at the station, Jim, surprisingly to no one, betrays Emma. Straight up cracks her.
Well, she is her helmet is damaged in transport between the two, and he does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he does
to
nothing
try to help,
to
even
help
though his
her.
arms reach away.
Yeah. Also, back to nerdness. Once that crack hits that helmet,
That's
you're
done,
done.
dude.
Yep.
Your
You're
brain
done.
is done.
There ain't nothing. There's no.
You will not be suffocating in that
No,
situation.
you're literally decompressed out that little bitty hole.
Right.
Like it's a nasty. Like no one that we know of has ever died that way. But I'm sure the Soviets back in they probably had a couple people die that way. They didn't care at all during their space
It
program.
just goes back to that whole thing where like the most comical thought of like Star Wars and stuff like that is like, your danger is not like getting shot in space. It's like somebody coming up and pricking your suit with a
like
needle.
I watched a
you got-
documentary one time on like how warfare would take place in space in
Yeah.
reality. It's not through guns.
Yeah.
It's literally through almost like a propulsion spear, and you don't even need a blade necessarily. You need enough force of air to pop the suit, and once that suit goes,
That's it.
you're done.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that Netflix show Space Force?
I was just about to
because
bring this up.
they do a training exercise, like a mock battle where they're running around with scissors trying to cut it
like
each
scissors,
other's
and then
suits.
their actual, war game is they have BB guns with a bayonet on the end of
Where they
them.
have to like clean out their pistol after each shot,
mean,
like it's the freaking American
Like
Revolution.
Glocks walk in space,
Yeah.
but they still wouldn't be a viable weapon.
Right.
Like you'd be more a little air pistol that just puffs enough air to break a hole. That's all you really need.
Right.
But this is a game.
Sure.
So once you're back inside, Jim instantly has no use for you. He shuts you down.
And literally stuffs you in a closet.
Yeah, and then there's a cool moment where you basically reboot. Yeah, you basically reboot yourself,
Yeah.
trying to find a way back into the system. And basically, you're finding spheres that are not connected to the mainframe.
Right.
During this bit, did any of us, because he does the protocol thing where you say, do not trust him, did anyone of us hit accept on that, or did we reject him? Because I
I did
him.
reject every single one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I rejected.
That's one thing I want to see if anybody, what happens when you accept it. I imagine it's something similar where he accepts you and then immediately shuts you down.
Yeah, I think
But-
he's. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, I was like, screw this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I was like, no.
As you are.
Your phone stays
You
locked,
killed
dude.
my Emma.
Yeah, you killed my
My
Emma.
And the other Emma.
Yeah, all the other Emmas be damned, but my Emma.
This is my Emma. You are, as the sphere, you're basically sneaking around the station. If you get caught, do any of you get caught?
So
Yes. I got caught.
Okay, I got caught.
that's where my playthrough went wrong, I want to say. So at this point, pull back the curtain, my save data was lost through some means. The last thing that did happen is I'm flying through the thing. You see him float by, which is like one of those cool like oh crap moments.
Yeah.
He in my playthrough he gets on the comms almost immediately, which I didn't go back and replay this game because I was about an hour away from the end. But that's supposed to happen when you boot up the second time.
So I wonder if you had maybe a sequence break.
Sure, but I got to that point. I'm just like, this is one of those things where it's almost antithetical to your aims as the player. You don't want to get caught. So
the game, the game lets you get caught. I think I got caught like 3 times.
I want to say,
I only got caught once.
That's interesting.
I got caught 3 times.
Maybe there is variation. into some of these parts of the game.
But he does get on comms, and he is using some fancy communication technology that Emma did not know that he had.
Yeah,
I think you're supposed to get caught once because the first time I got caught, that's where I find the sphere. I believe that's where I find the sphere upgrade for the module to where you can propulse yourself. Because I think first time you're not locked in the closet. I think the first time, I could be wrong, is where you take the pod, and then when he sees you take the pod, he's like, "Oh no, you're in a pod." And then he locks you up in a.
So which access point did you start with?
I started inside the locker.
That's where I started. Which node did you pick? So you scrape the access point. There's one that's far to the left, far to the right, and at the top.
Oh, maybe there's a certain, because I did the one going left first and then I did the one going right. Maybe you only get caught by picking the wrong one, so maybe I got the right one the second time.
Did you start in the closet?
No.
So I picked the left module first and was caught. I got started in the closet with the upgraded sphere.
That's what I did. Yeah, so
I got the upgraded sphere, I think, my second.
I believe I did the top right-hand corner.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Jim gets on comms with Houston. Houston is aware of his mission. Houston does not seem like they were in support of any of his other actions.
Right.
And
they put him on hold all the time.
Well, so that's elaborated on if you go to the second point, where like when Jim is on hold, they're talking to Sam.
They go to Jim has made some decisions on how he perceived the mission that Houston does not seem like they were in support of, because there's a lot of like, yeah, Jim, we'll be right back with you. Sam, what the heck is going on?
And like, no, don't talk to Sam. You can talk to me. Please stand by.
Just hold on.
As you gain back access, you get into the mainframe of the system. Sam is in communication with Houston. Houston realizes Jim. Where's Emma? Because Houston received her initial message.
Right.
So Houston is going behind Jim's back, being like, "Okay, Sam, I need you to do this. We're going to access this." Sam, they're taking safety protocols offline.
Yeah,
for
giving him
Sam.
more control.
It feels good going above Jim's head.
Yes.
Especially since he's like, "Oh, sorry, my Sam's offline. How'd that happen?" And you go, "I'm here." And they go, "Oh."
Well, my favorite thing is to like show us Sam. Show us Jim.
Yeah.
And you show them those 2 Jims. And Houston is as confused by that as you are.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is they don't do the freak out thing where Houston's like, what the heck happened? Like, he's like, okay, this is a problem, but let's go ahead and we're going to, like, Houston.
It's you being on the email chain with your boss and the CEO of the company is on the email chain.
Well, it's a blind copy. You ever blind copy somebody
Yes,
on it?
exactly.
It's a blind copy
Right.
where 2 people know what's going on and then somebody doesn't. This is a blind copy kind of situation where Jim's like, wait, no one's talking. Because we're talking about you, Jim. But you receive override codes to give you basically control of the station. They're going to pull Jim's basically credentials and they're going to give Sam override codes.
Right.
So you take control of the station. This is also the point in which Sam decides. Sam gets a message that says "kill him."
Yeah.
You
Which
play
is-
Simon again, and then you get your message.
And so Sam decompressurizes the cab, which is a pretty cool scene because the lights go out and you shut the doors.
Yeah.
on Jim.
He knows what's going on.
Oh yeah, because he
He's
starts.
like, come on, man.
But like it's that slow progression of door number 1, lock that. Did you lock the doors?
Yes.
I locked each one too.
Is this the part where the mainframe starts going crazy looking like it was like Venom from Spider-Man 3?
Yes.
Like, is that where?
No,
Yeah, I don't
that's
think that.
that's
no,
after.
that's what happens.
Yes.
So,
Like the
it
lights
does
go
that,
out, then the lights come back on, and it's
and
just
it's
covered.
covered in that material that you find at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that stuff was cool.
Which looks like the Venom symbiote.
Yeah.
You as Sam decompressurize the entire cabin.
Mm-hmm.
This is also where Emma contacts you, very calm, obviously alive,
Right.
and says, "Sam, I need you to come get me."
Yeah.
This is the portion I had to do a walkthrough, because when you come out of the mainframe, you come past Jim, and it's not easy to get by Jim. Like, his body's sort of blocking the hole.
Block the hole.
And like it doesn't, but he blocks it in a way that makes you think as a player,
I shouldn't
I'm
go
not
that way.
allowed to go
Yeah.
this way, but there's no other way to go.
Yeah.
And then as you go around the station, you have access to almost the entire station, and it's very, very hard to know which direction to go. And this really put a bad taste in my mouth, because I drifted for like 30 minutes looking for freaking Emma.
Yeah,
And she
this
won't
was-
like, Sam, I'm in this door.
Once I got to the EASs, it wasn't bad because you have to make your way back to EAS 11. But when you go out of it, the map says, "Oh, this is how you get to EAS 3 from the central hub," and you have like a left and a right. But so I kept going right, and I just could not find my way around. So I was stuck between these two modules for a long time until I eventually found like the correct hole to go in to make me go to the EAS thing. So this was probably the most frustrating part of the game for me, getting back to it. But
When I did the walkthrough just to look at this one portion, I just wanted to find where I needed to go.
Right.
I had to restart my checkpoint to start at the beginning to do it.
yeah,
The comments on the YouTube video were literally like, "This is where I stopped playing this game." Like, there was a lot of comments and a lot of frustration about that, like that aspect of the game.
Yeah.
And apparently this game is playable in VR.
Really?
Maybe I'm incorrect, but there was several people who talked about playing it in VR or something.
That's
I don't
crazy.
know. But a lot of people on those comments just being like, "This is where I stopped playing this game," because it gives you zero direction, and it's not like only the doors you need to go through are open. All the doors are open.
Yeah.
And so it's very frustrating as a player to be like, "Okay, she's saying come get me. Where?" Even if you just gave me the hub, at this point I kind of know the station.
Yeah.
Say, I'm in blah, blah, blah hub, and I can go get you. But yeah, I used the walkthrough just to find her. You bring Emma back in. Emma is obviously touched by the cosmic.
she doesn't
force.
sound natural. Like it's
No,
very off-putting.
She's obviously survived the vacuum of space for a long time.
Yeah.
There's a storm that's been on Saturn. She states that you have to go to the storm. To do so, you are sending a message back to Earth, and then you're also firing your propulsion engines to line yourself up with the center of the storm, which is a pretty cool puzzle.
Yeah.
Because it kind of works in how you would do it. You know, you're firing certain engines for a certain burn time. If anybody's ever seen the movie, Apollo 8? Apollo 13?
13, I think. I think
Yeah, with
Apollo
Tom
8 is a
Cruise.
horror movie.
Not
I could be
Tom-
wrong.
No, Apollo 13, I think, with Tom Hanks.
Gotcha.
It's about the final Apollo mission. There's a lot of talk about burn lengths and that, and how that propulsion works. Long story short, you still can't quite hit the center of the storm, so you're going to clamp all the other branches of the station.
Only the central hub
Just
going
the central
into it.
hub is going to go in. Emma's obviously out of it. You proceed to do a puzzle in which you just declamp all of the station. Central hub goes in, and you crash on Saturn. I meant to refresh my memory on Saturn, but I believe Saturn's atmosphere is not oxygenated.
No, it's
Doesn't
like
have oxygen.
it's a gas giant.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't even know if it actually has.
It doesn't
Ground.
I believe it doesn't have ground.
I
think
believe
that's
it
the case.
doesn't. Yeah.
Oh
So,
my God.
what like
There's a short story. There's a short story we read in like middle school where it's a bunch of people living on Neptune, and I'm like, Neptune's a gas giant. How you can't live on Neptune?
Yeah, and
It just
like I mean,
makes
I know these are like, it's a video game, man, but this game tries to do so much like hard science
True.
that it irritates me when they just like throw it out the window. It's like I don't expect.
Have you ever been there, bro?
No, bro, I haven't.
I'm just asking questions.
But, yeah, okay. Just ask those questions. Somebody is going to send me an email. This is where we're going to get an email about, like, allow me to explain space. And I told you at the beginning of this podcast, I am no scientist.
But I think it's supposed to be jarring in a way because, like, when you see Saturn's surface is, like, very rocky and everything. But at the same time, is this really Saturn? Because when we go in the storm, we don't actually know what's on the other side of the storm.
Okay.
So it could not be Saturn because then after, like, the bit that we're leading up to, you see trees and everything. I think there's like, there civilization there too? I think I remember seeing something in the distance.
So somebody can sit there.
No, that's at the end.
That's at the end.
Okay, I took that differently because for this, when you arrive, Emma and Sam are jettisoned from the station. They're on the ground of the planet.
Yeah, they crash out. They're out of the station.
Emma is carrying you in a sphere, and you're moving towards where you're feeling the presence of this entity. This is where you're noticing other crashed forms of the stations. And you find a dead Emma. So like other timelines that things didn't go the way they were supposed to.
Yeah.
When you get to the center of the entity, you play another game of Light Bright.
You see, like, as you're solving some of the Simon puzzles, like, you see, when it flashes, you see more and more silhouettes of Emma and Sam, like, creeping up. And as you're doing more and more are coming, so it's like that's such a cool image.
Yeah, it was cool.
And at the final moment, everything goes black.
You float up.
Yeah, Emma floats up like she's the chosen one. And then you arrive on what I take to be Earth.
That's what I thought.
Sam,
I don't think so. We'll discuss my theory.
Let me get to the end. Then I don't want to cut you off.
No. Yeah,
we're right there at the end. Sam and Emma are now a hybrid. Like their voices are both combined in the same head. You see that you're viewing things through Emma's body because you can see her hands. You're on what I believe to be Earth. I don't know. You touch a tree. Everything the venom stuff starts to take over the environment. And then it says, bring them. And then it cuts to credits. And then I yelled a bunch of expletives and scared my wife was sitting to the side watching her little stuff on her tablet and was just very confused on my angle because go ahead, because I'm on a rant when I start. Thoughts, Mike?
Thoughts on the overall ending. Like, it feels like my takeaway is that the hexagonal sphere is leading Emma's, and like Sam and Emma are merged at the end, and that's where you get the note "bring them." So I think bring them is start bringing more and more people to this location. I think whatever is here is harvesting people to grow more and more powerful. And I think that the place you're in is kind of like inside, like the hexagon. Like, it's not real. I think it's like some type of like Matrix alternate universe, like utopia thing that this thing is like bringing people into to like perceive their life. It reminds me, this is very bizarre that I'm going to this place, but the Futurama movie where they go to the like giant god thing on the galaxy and they're just like, you can live here and it's all fine. Do any of you know what I'm talking about?
I didn't even know there was a Futurama movie.
There are multiple.
Wow.
Yeah,
they're great.
Incredible.
Yeah, they're great.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. I think that was the thing I thought of when I thought about this ending in a way.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Thoughts, Nick?
This is where the true depth of my misunderstanding is going to come forth here. There's like 2 throwaway voice logs that you get on your last observation, whichever one you go to last before this happens, that bring up Elsa, which is one of the other crew members that you pretty much don't hear from or about in the entire game, and Stanislav. And apparently she is there as a part of some kind of climate change committee.
She's a part of the she's particularly sending information back to the Beijing climate conference, and she talks about she will be more happy to conference in.
Yeah,
which
and, like,
it's not
translate
freaking
for people.
Which is not freaking easy from space. Like she's like, I'll be your translator. They can find a closer
comms, bro. Like
quantum comms.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
So is this supposed to be something about climate change? I've always been the dude that got 90% of the way there.
No. May I take control of the
Go for it.
All right.
Here's my feelings on this, and maybe I'm missing something.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, Michael, I admire you. Have a great imagination, and you filled in. I think you made a better story out of it. Like in your mind, you're like, this is what I hope and think it is. I don't quite get some of the jumps you made, but I appreciate the fact that you actually kind of made a reason for it, a purpose.
Yeah.
I feel like this game just kind of throws out a whole bunch of science fiction stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like, so what you think about that? I'm gonna turn it around.
This game is the shopkeeper.
Exactly. Right when there's a note somewhere that talks about that. It doesn't want to tell you anything because then it has to make a decision as a story what it's about. Mm-hmm. Is it transhuman? Is the message behind it. Sam and Emma now being linked, and are they a completely different entity now? Is it about this God genome that is out there in the universe that is somehow linked to Emma? Is it about climate of the effects on climate? Because it is thrown out there at the end. They make several voice logs about that.
Yeah.
Is it about is it this cosmic horror where it's this monster that's in the universe that is unperceivable to us, which one of my least favorite things in the history of science fiction is this, like, well, it's unperceivable to you. Okay. And
it is
that's
beyond your understanding.
It's beyond my so was Cthulhu. If you read if you read the original Lovecraft, which there's some problematic stuff in there. But if you read it, Cthulhu is supposed to be this thing you can't comprehend. But he also built out what freaking Cthulhu is about a little bit. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of walk that lays down something. So as a reader, you have an understanding that the character might not necessarily have. Mm-hmm. This is a situation where I feel like things are left vague just so you can sit there and be like, well, what is it? Mm-hmm. But it gives you zero to grasp onto. It gives you zero to be like, I understand. Alan Wake didn't explain everything.
Sure.
But I knew the basics of how it affected the world in some way. Mm-hmm. I felt a satisfied ending. Mm-hmm. In this, I played for 7 hours because of all the time I spent lost because there wasn't a doggone waypoint. And at the end, it's just like, bring them.
So what I'm getting is, you also didn't understand this game, but it made you angry.
I didn't understand it because I felt like I missed something. I felt like I didn't understand it, and I feel like there wasn't anything to really understand. Like, no one wrote an ending to this daggone game.
Uh-huh.
I understand that, but I also feel like if you play this game, you're probably going to go off on two ways. Either you're going to like the ending or you're going to absolutely hate this ending. I fall on more on the liking side because it just depends on your view of ambiguity. Do you want everything to wrap up in a nice little bow? I do like stories that you have to kind of piece together, and I think the point of this ending is that you kind of make it your own in a way. I know that you can either go two ways, like that's just lazy writing, or you can go that's good writing. I more fall on the good writing camp because I think there's enough flavor there for you to come up with your own conclusions in a way. But I understand absolutely what you're saying too, Eric, with the fact that you're just saying they just didn't want to write an ending. They didn't have an ending in mind, so they're just make it up as you go. Well, I don't know.
Here's my thing. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna challenge a little bit on the not wanting everything. I don't want everything wrapped in a bow.
Yeah.
I want to feel like you, as the writer of the story, know what happened. Mm-hmm. And you've given me enough information that I can grasp. In the corner of my mind, I can vaguely understand what happened. So therefore, I know that something is out there. Something was there. This, I felt like you literally got to okay, I used to write reports in school, right? Where I would just write like 6 pages to hit the word count. And then end it at the word count. So like if I was halfway through a thought at 600 words, everybody, bam, done. It was that kind of thing where I was like, we have hit the end. Okay, what's this about? It's about what you think it's about. And like I don't feel like there's enough there to make me feel like I don't feel like oh man, what is the mystery? I was just like, you don't know what the mystery is either, do you? Like
I absolutely understand that. I feel like it's just going to come up to your point of view if you like ambiguity or not. Like if you absolutely, I mean, every story has some ambiguity, unless you're Metal Gear Solid 4. Bring that up again. But yeah, so
okay.
So my last sleeper vibe check for this game is: has any of you guys seen the movie Annihilation?
Yes.
Natalie Portman.
Yes.
How did you feel about that movie?
It's okay.
Okay. So
No, but
the way that I feel about this game is that there's like a clear atmosphere and it's really good at invoking emotion. But by the end of the movie, like I walked out of the theater, I saw that in theaters on somebody's recommendation, and I was just like, the only impression that it left me with is just like, oh, so like it's been 2 hours. Like there's no lasting thoughts. It's just like, okay. Well.
It's Annihilation. I feel like somewhere at the script, at the bottom of the script, there's like a little note that explains, as the writer's point of view, the full extent of what happened. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there was enough there that I understand that it was ambiguous. It wasn't completely clear.
Right.
I don't think that note was at the bottom of this script. And if it was, they did not show enough to make me feel like. And I get you're 100% right, Michael. Yeah. It boils down to personal taste and how much you can tolerate. Mm-hmm. For me, not enough was shown to let you get away with the trope of not explaining everything.
There's a breaking point for everybody when it comes to ambiguity.
Like it just I feel like you were so vague that it's the word that's popping in my head is going to get me. I'm gonna have to beep again. It's not. It's masturbatory.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe you just said that.
I know.
Really,
right.
Why would
you
that's
what it is. That's what it is.
I've never heard anything like that come out of your mouth.
I know. It's masturbatory writing. Whereas, like, and what do you think about it? And I was like, screw you, man. It just feels so. It feels like sci-fi, right? It feels like it's a cheap way out, and it really, really bummed me out. Mm-hmm. Especially with a game that the moment-to-moment gameplay of it wasn't fun enough for me to be like, well, at least I enjoyed the ride. I was sticking in this for this story, and I felt like you got to the final chapter. It's like the equivalent of reading like Fahrenheit 451, which is a very classic science fiction story, and just ripping out the last chapter of it and be like, and there you go. He discovers that burning books is not that bad. He should probably read the books. Okay, and what does that affect him? How does that change him as a character? How does that affect the world around him?
You figure it out.
You tell me.
It's like you ripped out that last chapter of the book.
That's fair.
That's what it feels like. I feel like I'm missing 6 pages, and I'm not criticizing anybody who enjoys this game. This game does a lot of things that are right, but I just, man.
I personally didn't feel like the gameplay was as mundane. It was still enjoyable to me.
So going around the horn, kind of my vibes is that Michael enjoyed it the most.
I think
Probably.
I think Nick is second.
And you hated it.
I didn't.
It's an abomination.
You seem mixed on it. Like you like a lot of the stuff in here, but it's just that you seem very split on it.
I'm very split on it. I'm glad it exists. I think it's worth playing.
Absolutely, yeah.
But man, did it drop some balls for me.
I understand why someone would play this game and go, oh, I hated every single second of it. And I understand the opposite where someone goes, oh, I love this game, I love the atmosphere, I got every collectible. That's awesome. This seems like a game where there's no definitive right or wrong with any game, but I feel like the net is very wide for this one.
For the sake of the show, I'm glad we played it because Alan Wake, we were all three like, this is a pretty great game.
Yeah.
And this is a game that there's still warrant in conversation and experiencing art that does not necessarily directly appeal to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in all things, watching films that are not necessarily right up your alley, or reading a book that's not necessarily right up your alley and you love every minute of it, because you can still find things that you enjoy or they still teach you. For me, like I said, it just did not. It just didn't provide the last 6 pages.
I feel like you're doing a really great segue for the next game that we're going to play.
Oh, man.
Yes!
You want to talk about masturbatory.
It's all...
Let me tell you about Hideo Kojima.
Michael, are you saying that maybe we should play a Hideo Kojima game?
I think we should play a
Because
Hideo Kojima game.
I had written down Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers for the PlayStation 2 as our next game. But now, after all this talk about masturbatory, over taking yourself way too seriously bullcrap,
And settled on Gears of War 2.
Well,
how y'all feel about playing Metal Gear Solid 3?
what a thrill that would be. What
What
a
a
thrill
game.
indeed.
Why Metal Gear Solid 3, you say?
I do say that.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Because technically, in the story of Metal Gear, 3 is the first one in the timeline.
Yeah, that's including all of the side games and all of the
card games.
the card games, all the expanded material. 3 is the first in the timeline.
Metal Gear
Which,
Solid.
from what I understand, very easy to follow. That's
Yes,
timeline.
very easy
Absolutely.
to follow. You want to talk about masturbatory? That should be the title of this. In this episode,
no.
the boys talk about it. But man, Metal Gear Solid 3.
Metal Gear
We're
Solid
gonna,
3.
if you know, vagueness. This is going to be proof that I don't dislike a little bit of like weird vagueness. But Metal Gear Solid 3 was originally released on the PlayStation 2.
Yes.
My finest memory of this game is it came out around the time of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Halo 2, Metroid Prime.
Some of the best games of all time came out at the tail end of that generation,
Yeah.
the PS2 generation.
There was a EGM issue that I was a religious EGM reader, and there was an EGM issue that had in its review section of the magazine, which EGM used to be like a freaking book every month, like it was just huge magazine. But the back section, the reviews section, was 4 pages for each one of those games. Like they had 3 different reviewers on each one of those games. It was just like bam, 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 all in the same issue, and everybody had the same things to say about each game. Like it was like like it was really unnecessary to have all 3 voices, but they had 3 voices for Halo 2, San Andreas, Metal Gear Solid 3, and then Metroid Prime. I think it was the first Metroid Prime too. If it's not, yeah, it was the first one. And I remember just like reading over, because I didn't have the money to play all those games. I think the only one I played when it came out was probably Halo 2. And
Reading about it is a comparable experience.
yeah, same thing in this interactive media. But I remember being like a kid reading about it and thinking it looked like freaking amazing and having no understanding of it. But Metal Gear Solid, I know I have some experience with this franchise. Michael has some experience.
Absolutely.
Nick's got
I have not played a single Metal Gear game,
This is going to be fun.
or Metal Gear Solid, or Metal Gear 2,
Acid.
3, yeah, whatever those are.
Oh man,
All the subtitles.
Metal Gear Peace Walker had a thing where you could walk around with the game and like find like hotspots and stuff, and that was like,
That actually seems more my bag. than-
yeah.
yes.
I mean, but no, I think you're really going to enjoy this game.
I hope so.
I think you are. If not, you're going to enjoy talking about it because. Buckle up, boys and
Yes.
girls. This is going to be a 4-part. I think we agreed on a 4-part series.
Yeah, I found a way to like kind of break it down. So with no spoilers, we're going to be playing for the first section up to the second boss fight.
Would it be a spoiler to say which boss that is?
No, it's called The Pain.
The Pain. So we're going to finish that second boss fight.
Second boss fight, any of the cutscenes that follow a boss fight. Get ready.
Boys and girls, hang on for the cutscenes. Because I know in the beginning of 3, there was at least a 10 to 15 minute cutscene.
That sounds
This
about
is
right.
what, like 2 or 3 hours worth of gameplay, and then like 7 or 8.
It's not. No. It's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. Like it's
we are going to break it up for sure. That's why we're doing a longer set, because there's
a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about here. I don't foresee us having any issues having conversations about this game. So remember, if you're playing along with this, you can play this on the Metal Gear Collection that was released on the 360. I believe the PlayStation 3, that is also backwards compatible, which has Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 on it, right?
Yes.
That is also, the Metal Gear Collection is on Game Pass right now. Does anybody else have whatever?
It is. There was Snake Eater 3D on the 3DS. It was only Snake Eater, but they re-released that game in 3D with kind of better graphics. But
I'm
also
gonna go ahead and say right now,
that
don't play
frame
it like that. Don't play it like that.
It was on the Vita, and of course it's on the PS2. And
Sorry, is this game called Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater?
Yes.
Snake Eater.
That's what this is called?
Yes.
Okay. What is Naked Snake?
Oh, we gotta talk about some Naked Snake.
Get ready.
There's gonna be some stuff in this. We're gonna try to keep this a clean episodes, but there's some Metal Gear stuff that we're gonna have to talk about.
Yes.
You can't ignore the Naked Snake.
I mean, there's just some Metal Gear stuff, but boy, I'm excited about this one. It makes Michael giddy every time we talk about it.
Love Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
I'm excited
Love
to play
Metal Gear Solid.
something that I have never, touched before, and that is also somehow like a cultural touchstone for so many people. Like,
Yeah.
This is like this series, or Hideo Kojima games as like a whole, or pretty much like there are people that will cut blood for those games.
I feel like this will be one of two things.
I will cut blood for every Metal Gear Solid except 5, but that's a conversation for a different day.
I like 5. I'll say this. I feel like you're going to come out of this game and you're going to be like, now I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 2. I went and tracked me down a PlayStation Classic to play Metal Gear. Like,
I downloaded an emulator to play the MSX games.
Like, I feel like that could happen. Or you could come out and be like, why did we waste? Like, I feel like it's one or two ways with you.
So as like somebody who has also never watched a Star Wars game, like this is me watching Star Wars from the prequels, right? Like I'm starting with the prequels.
No,
because 3 might be the best. It's not my favorite, but it's probably the best made of these
Whereas
games.
also we're just gonna go ahead and slap the people that like the prequels in Star Wars. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Okay,
Those people
sure.
are wrong.
Okay. I just wanted to get that on the record.
I like the prequels. They're the worst trilogy, but I like the prequels. Okay.
But like Metal Gear Solid 3 of the games is one of the better playing ones. It's one of the better, the more interesting of them. I think there's a reason why we picked 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, like I feel like
So what you're saying is this is the last Jedi of Metal Gear Solid games.
maybe the Empire Strikes Back.
I want to make people mad. Is what I'm.
Yeah,
can
you're
you
just
tell?
straight up
Is this going
Empire.
across over
Metal-
audio? I want to
No,
make
everybody stop! This is all going to go bad.
Yeah, this is more Empire. I would say.
No, stop! Everybody stop!
Metal Gear Solid 2 is the last Jedi of Metal Gear Solid games,
What
and the
is
fact
the
that it's very split.
cartoon Clone Wars movie of
That's
like,
the
Metal Gear
acid
Solid?
game.
Metal Gear Acid.
Okay, we gotta stop.
We're
Everybody
gonna be in this
stop.
forever.
Okay, so let's bring it home. Boy, this was a ride. This is episode 4 of State of the Save. Thank you guys for all the support that we've been getting. We just had a wonderful amount of support. Do remember you can write in to stateofsave@gmail.com. We're also going to lock down that stateofthesave@gmail.com because that should have been done the first time. But I might have made a mistake. We're also going to get by the time this goes live, we'll have a twiddle at stateofsave on twiddle.com.
Wait, are we committing to State of Save or State of the
State of the Save. State of the Save. State
at
of the Save.
Twitter.com.
Yes.
We'll link it in the description, hopefully.
We might need to make that like a small little thing. That's a big tweet. State of the Save.
Well, it'll be in the description.
Okay, it'll be in the
Whatever
description.
it
will
is.
be in the description. Thank you guys for tolerating this episode. This was fun for us, and I hope you enjoyed it also. Yeah, guys. Let's have a good week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's play some Metal Gear Solid 3.
So it is going to be a great week.
Yeah.